Hey fellow drivers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Pacific Drive, episode 13, Wheels to the Wall. So we are headed to Expansion Wall, finding our way through into the deep. On the way there, we'll take the G1 shortcut and to G3. G3 is a suck zone, so we're really not going to want to stop there because it's like Swift Storm. But we'll try to get some some stable energy at G1 because G2 up here has perpetual stability and actually has a pretty decent amount of anchor energy, as you can see. It has okay amounts, but it will require 3 klim of anchor energy to gate out. So we're going to want to get our anchor energy from the highway. There is a tire in the repair speaker. Actually, that's a good point. Is I'll swap the tires. So if there's a damaged tire, you can part swap. Actually, this one is more damaged. If you have extra parts, you can repair them for free by sticking them in the speaker, which is useful for armor panels or tires. It can even repair things like lightning rods. Anything that fits in there. And this is also upgradable to become larger. So I've got fresh tools. Got plenty of maintenance. Yeah, we're good to go. And Fake Face, thank you for the resub. I have 2 more scanner charges. So let's just scan up here. I'm just scanning, like, sectors that have extreme conditions that I might not have heard of. Like, curious fragility, which one might assume makes you more fragile. Or malfunctioning. Well, I think we've been to a malfunction. No, it's unrecognized. But we've seen shocking speed in Swift Storm. Although I didn't get shocked, did I? So on the way there is nothing new, unknown in G1, nothing new, unknown in G3, but there is something new and unknown in G2. So there is something novel to scan at G2. So, headed to the expansion wall. We have already found a way to the expansion wall, so travel to the expansion wall is now the priority. And the reason I keep pushing ahead in the story is we're not going to really get unstable energy for all of the nicer upgrades in the fab station, like the advanced workbench, or really anything else that we're kind of waiting on, the roof storage or the radar scan. What I will say is the game, I don't think it ever gets to a grind, in my opinion, but it does slow down once you start to open up deeper zones, because it requires a strong term, but it will incentivize the player to get a lot more material, because otherwise you're ill-equipped to go further. Put it that way. So once we get into the midsection of the game, we're speeding very past the damp forest, which is this biome. But once we get to the midsection, there is a lot of content in that midsection. So it's not like the midsection you can blow by in a few hours. I mean, you could if you speedrun it, but that's not what we're doing. So the speaker will only repair car parts. Tools don't fit in it. So if you try to stick tools in it, it just doesn't let you. So in terms of materials that we need most, I would say copper wires and electronics. Meaning most of the stuff that we see in trunks of cars, I don't really need. So I don't need to be stopping at every car. Arda shacks, which there is one at the end of this map. Or Arda trucks. Yeah, we left the tutorial a few hours ago, but there was a lot of hand-holding up until this point, I would say. Where there isn't a lot of danger and threat. The last run we had was kind of threatening, because it was a situation that if I was a new player, I might not have known to activate the gateway as the storm was closing, unless I was really paranoid about the storm. And it's really easy to get caught out when you're like, oh, okay, the storm moves slow, and then you ignore it, and then all of a sudden, all the gateways are blocked. Because when the storm passes over the gateways become unstable and unusable. Each map, the road system is predetermined, but the loot, like, so the terrain is predetermined, but the points of interest are not. So the cars, the buildings, the anomalies, things like zone receivers, etc., they're all procedurally and randomly generated. Same with the conditions and everything else. So some, to explain that a little bit more, some anomalies, for instance, are only going to be found in specific biomes. So here, as you can see, the beating heart can be found in damp forest and blistering woods and these unknown biomes that I have not interacted with. Hurricane squalls can only be found in damp forest, blistering woods, and one other. So as you can see, some anomalies and some conditions are specific to certain biomes. Some are not. So, like, broken bunnies can only be found in the damp forest. So if you want to scan broken bunnies, you're only going to ever find them in the broken forest, barring weird special circumstances. So there is a lot of RNG, and every run is a little different as a result, which is awesome. And also, some runs are just like, later in the game, the maps can become so difficult that it's like pretty seat of your pants. Are tunnels radiation proof? No, you can definitely. I've never. Well, so anecdotally, I will say I've never seen them blocked to the point where like they were impassable. With anomalies or whatever, but sometimes they'll have stuff that hurts you, but not usually. Normally those tunnels are found in the highway bypasses, and the highway bypass maps are pretty harmless. These maps, where it's just a straight path, start to finish. You could die here, but you would definitely have to try to die here. You'd have to, like, crash into things over and over and over or something. Or, like, teleport your car into a physical object and get gib launched. That has happened to me. Ooh, a dumpster pearl. Nice. Logbook fatigue. So, there is a part somewhere on my car that just wore out, I think. Maybe. Oh, yeah, this armor door. So if I scan this armor door is now fragile. Come on, logbook. Where is fragile? Here it is. Meaning that there is no fix. It just means that it breaks more easily and should probably be retired. So, my usual strategy is as soon as things are fragile, as soon as I get it back in the shop, I just scrap it. That's not what I meant to do. I send it through the scrapper because it's just a part that's going to be a liability from there on. And as I said before, the only thing that isn't fragile is your Oppie-made passenger companion. How's my feel? Oh, okay, that's fine. Is there a modifier like Bunny Outbreak? Yeah, we already have found one. That's why it's not a spoiler. It was the Warrens. This. Bunny anomalies run rampant in this part of the zone. We had already been to a zone called the Warrens. Because it's, Bunny Warren. Like a bunny, well, yeah. Wow, look at all this. And Crimson Rouse, thank you for the gifted subs. Ooh, we have, air freshener. Summer tires? Yeah, I don't care. Personally, I find mirror things kind of distracting because they like jiggle in your face as you drive. I guess in real life as well, so I don't use them. Fragile just happens over time. Yeah, so there's a lot of status effects that just happen over time as a result of things wearing out from normal use. So tires can go bald, and doors can become fragile, and that's just and all parts that can happen too. And it's a way so that you can't just have like infinite use of components. The game has you replace things over time. Same with tools, right? You can't repair tools. That way you have to replace them. So it just happens. What I will say is breaking things often will cause the fragile conditions to happen more frequently. So for me, in my driving at least, I tend to have front-end collisions. So that means that the bumpers and stuff on the front of my car definitely get worn out faster. So if you have like... so for instance, my limb shield that I have on my car is far more expensive to manufacture, or my limb emitter rather, is far more expensive to manufacture than just a steel bumper. So I have a steel bumper on the back, or on the front, and the limb emitter on the back. Because the limb emitter covers the entire car. But because I have a lot of front-end collisions, I would rather have the steel bumper protecting the front for higher impact, and then the limb emitter protecting the back, so that I can turn it on and protect the entire car from things clinging on and whatnot. So there's also like little strategy about where to place things, and what to build, and when to build it. Because you don't have infinite resources, and going on runs for resources takes, wear and tear on your own vehicle, so you have to be careful about not wearing yourself out of resources. So if you have a few runs where you really wreck your car, or you even die, you're going to be pretty strapped. So this is a violet voltage zone. So electrical discharges detected in this part of the zone are much higher voltage, meaning they will arc past defenses with car defenses with ease. So if we had insulated car parts that had high electrical protection, they wouldn't really matter in this zone. Was there anything to scan here? No. And a little reminder, wriggling wrecks, crackling crawlers. I don't like either of those. So the Kraken crawlers are the things that creep around and drop Minutemen, and the wriggling wrecks are the high electrical traps in the middle of the road. And because this is a violent voltage zone, I really need to be mindful about avoiding those things, which is going to be really challenging to do if I'm going to anchor points, because anchor points tend to drop crackling crawlers on you. So it's definitely going to be one of those, like, grab the anchor and run, because if I don't, the car gets busted up pretty bad. It also means the lightning rod won't do much. Yeah, I mean, it won't hurt to have a lightning rod. It helps to absorb some of the power. But as I'm sure, as you have seen, its lightning rod isn't full coverage, and 4 lightning rods wouldn't really help either, if you're wondering. Yeah, let's get lead platelets while I'm here. The other thing that I haven't really been invested in is personal gear for electrical or radiation or corrosive or impact or punctured armor. So collecting materials for that, not a terrible idea. You can see why I highly appreciate the wind turbine. I left the radio on, I left the lights on, and I have full power. So I am generating it easily in this hurricane wind. Yeah, let's do it. I didn't see any electrical anomalies nearby to give me pause. The Arda trailers are pretty small and very loot-filled versus a lot of the other structures, which have less loot. Less important loot, in my opinion. Oh, that's a crawler. There's a full service. I'm like fully repaired, so I don't really need this. But, alright, whatever. Top me up. So here's the battery, as you can see, the charge that you use up, as I was explaining before. And this one does have fuel. Although I'm simply too far. I didn't park well. I am being surrounded. Whoa! The spare tire came flying in. Another one. Alright. It's free rubber. Would I sacrifice for the auto partner? Nothing. I don't have other components at the moment. I'm pretty early on in the game. I don't even have... I have 2 backseat things, and I only have 1 thing installed in the backseat. I'll put it that way. It's raining spare tires? Absolutely, yes. And I picked them up. Spare tires are pretty trash for, like, traction and hill climbing and everything. What they are? Oh god, oh god. Go, go, go! They're made of rubber. That wasn't too bad. Alright, the next one is just due south. Fuel looks to be about 2/3. So if I see a good fuel opportunity, like right here. Oh, that's a wrecked car. That's not going to have fuel. Oh, no, no, it will. It could. Nope, it's empty. Just needs to rain thermostat crystals. Wouldn't that be nice? And also probably painful because they're kind of like explosive. Alright, come on, Wriggle. Don't get close to me. Hey, Shatastic! Thank you for the resub. Explosive damage worth the upgrades? Perhaps. If you survive. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, no. Go! Oh my god, key! Ah! Alright, I swear to god you're chasing me. Oh, there it goes. As far as I believe they're on a predetermined path, more or less. But like, that one wanted me dead. Bad. Alright, I'm going the wrong way. I need to go that way. Best driver ever. Obviously. The check engine light wasn't on. It was the elevation. Basically, I was going uphill. And when you go too high uphill, your fuel economy goes to put. And you might slip and fall back. So it's just a little warning light. One to be ignored by, oh, I am riding on a tree. That was weird. I just monster trucked an entire, like, oak tree or something. I did want to siphon some fuel, so here is an opportunity to do that. Okay, let's be good to our battery. So on the on trips that have longer junctions, now of course this is totally empty. Grabbing fuel where you can is definitely useful so that you don't run out. So I'll just keep the fuel can on me so I can siphon quicker. I'm also going the wrong way. It's not so urgent that I would like drive up to the next car over. It's not a big deal. I still have a full tank and then a little extra. But it's definitely one of those, like, yeah, when you're, because if we take a look at my route map, this is stop 1 of 3, so I wouldn't want to redline my fuel gauge. Okay, that's a wriggling wreck right there, so let's drive around that. That's bait, that's a trap, and that will zap the crap out of us. Another thing to note is there are fuel barrels that you'll find around the map. And what I will say about them is usually wrecks have considerably more fuel in them than fuel barrels. So in terms of fuel availability, it's like fuel trucks, wrecks, fuel barrels. Fuel barrels will give you like a quarter tank, whereas a wreck can actually top you up or give you half. And like a fuel truck might actually fill your car and then some. Depends on your max capacity, of course. So this next zone is going to be one that we're going to want to go through quickly. Because it is unstable as hell. So if the anchor is convenient, it's fine. The other thing is we're passing through this zone. So you know how the storm closes. The storm, when it closes, won't close exit gates. It just closes new gates. So what I mean by that is it won't close the exit point. It just closes any inner gates. So I think given the choice between getting the anchor power and the zone receiver, anchor or zone, I'll have you guys choose because I don't hit that fork for a little bit. So the zone receiver is a little bit more of the side story about the origins of Lim and Limtech and Oppie for that matter. And then anchor power is, you know, upgrade juice, to put it bluntly. Nice. This fuel tank is full, or will fill my extra can up. Got a little irradiated doing it, but that's okay. The amount that's in a fuel tank is like 3 times more than what can fit in my little fuel can. So even if the fuel tank looks to be low, it's like more fuel than I can even fit in this gunk can. So now my fuel is 100%, car's 100%, and the spare tank is 100%. What anomalies do I need to look out here? Honeypot, left rights, and a lot of electricity stuff. Gross. Alright, you guys want me to get the zone receiver, which is what I currently have marked. Feel free to keep voting if you change your mind. I'm not at the fork yet, but I'm about to get there. Whoa, that is a lot of electricity. Oh, that's a wriggling wreck. So let's go around that. Still got hit. That's okay. It just adds to my battery. This isn't the zone that has the like violent electricity. It does have battery sapping though, so it's one of those zones that you don't want to linger in because it whittles away your power. As you can see, my power is dropping. It's another wriggling wreck, and I didn't drive around it in time. I didn't see it until I crested that hill. So it zapped us. Was this not a swift storm? It is. I'm surprised we haven't been, oh no, the storm is coming in. Alright, I guess we're getting zapped again. Owie, 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 owie. Owie, owie, owie.
Welcome back. This is Frequency File, Episode 2. In the last episode, I told you about the curious case of Dr. Ophelia Turner. When it comes to this enigmatic individual, one of 3 versions is true.
So,
Myth,
I might want
wonder,
to get these anchors, because I only have 1.6k
in turns as heretic,
K-lim,
scapegoat,
or 1.6 K-lim.
And I started down this path to discover who she was, what she did, and ultimately what happened to her.
So I'll go for one of them.
Expected to lead into one of the strangest mysteries of the Pacific Northwest, the Olympic exclusion zone. But let me rewind a bit. In northwest Washington state, there are 3,600 square miles of vibrant wilderness called the Olympic Peninsula. Bounded
I also
by
talked over her, so I'll restart it.
Welcome back. This is Frequency File, Episode 2. In the last episode, I told you about the curious case of Dr. Ophelia Turner. When it comes to this enigmatic individual, one of three versions is true: myth, martyr, or monster. To be able to weigh her in turns as heretic, genius, or scapegoat, we must first set the stage. When I started down this path to discover who she was, what she did, and ultimately what happened to her, I didn't expect it to lead me to one of the strangest mysteries of the Pacific Northwest, the Olympic exclusion zone. But let me rewind a bit. In northwest Washington state, there are 3,600 square miles of vibrant wilderness called the Olympic Peninsula. Bounded by water on three sides, it was a wonderland for outdoorsy types, with snow-capped mountains and salmon-bearing rivers and pristine rainforests. Up until 1955, it was the residence of 100,000 people, including Ophelia Turner. It was her birthplace, her hometown, and, it turns out, ground zero and sacrificial lamb for the promise of new technology. In true fashion, the government never comes out and says that's what led to the creation of the Olympic exclusion zone. But the chain of events were in plain sight. Strange accidents, leading to the government's claim of eminent domain and subsequent seizure of the peninsula. The evacuation of 100,000 people and the attempt and abject failure at containing the rumors that spread like wildfire. Because it turns out, even with the government's resources at your disposal, keeping secrets is a tricky business. You can bet there was plenty of talk as a result. Lucky me, because I had plenty of questions.
Yes, there are investigative podcast journalism built into the game, and honestly, I really like the side story of her investigations. Because it gives you insight into the history, which would otherwise not really be relevant to the situation that the main character's in, the driver. So it's a really interesting way to introduce backstory into the game, for sure. And also, thank you for the sub, too. Hate that song. Alright, the front of my car got absolutely smashed to bits. So once I get to the exit, or actually, I'm not going to do it here because of the battery sapping nature of this zone. So I'm going to get the hell out of here. And then once I get into the next zone, I'll make some repairs. Because this zone sucks. The next zone is just stable and shouldn't be so nasty. Hate that song, turns off radio immediately. No, I switched the channel. It's the only in the streamer safe soundtrack that I like really loathe. It's this one. Alright, so let's make some repairs. Because that zone kicked my butt. I tried to hill climb to get more anchor energy, but I couldn't make it up the hill. Car was too underpowered. So I just cut my losses. So it looks like hood and front bumper, front right quarter panel, and headlights. These headlights have had a lot of mileage, so I would not be surprised if the headlights become fragile soon. Or just burned out. Alright, that should keep the car in pretty good working order. Top up the fuel. And we're in the final zone, so I'm not going to bother topping up the trunk gunk can. I don't think we'll need to. There's a lot of anchor energy here, so that's fortunate. And the goal is to find a way through the wall. kind of wish I could power slide over the hood. That'd be sick. The game is very generous with the anchor energy here, as you can probably tell. So although I skipped the anchor energy in the last zone, I knew that there was plenty here because of the high readings that it gave me when I scanned it, this zone, on the way in. Because to get out of this zone, I need 5 klim of anchor energy, but because there was a lot of it here, I'm fine. There's also there's a POI here that I believe is this that I should scan. This is weird. Yeah, it's too bad you can't take jumps without messing with the car. I can install the jacks anyway and just like show you. If you land nice and flat, it's okay. But if you land like anything but nice and flat, you end up like cracking windows. So if you have tons of sealant kits, I suppose it's fine. I'm really confused. I thought there was a... Oh, it's over here. Got it. The zone has a point of interest that I hadn't scanned yet. So this here, interestingly, has a workbench. So a craft tier 2 workbench. So if I needed to make something bigger, sometimes the gas stations will have full-fledged workbenches, which can really bail you out of a bind if you have severely broken things. It's also like very clean bathroom. I haven't been to the Pacific Northwest in a long time. I was there like years ago for a wedding of mine, or not me, my wedding, but a cousin's wedding. But I don't recall the bathrooms being that clean. Ooh, a friendly dumpster. Come on, Pearl. More electronics. Ooh, there's a Pearl. I like how it's like a clam or something, you know? Yeah, like the dumpsters are alive? Exactly. But they get gunked up with weird stuff and create a pearl out of the trash. Oh, just in time. I should probably stop for the plasma, but I'm lazy.
There's the expansion wall. It separates the outer zone from the mid-zone, and more importantly, us from those two idiots. This will get you one step closer to the deep zone. It's far past its prime, so watch your step.
Look at all the tourists around the water. I will mention it is possible to hydrolock your car a little bit. Like, you can damage the engine by idling in water for too long. So, don't. Let's kill some bathing tourists. Die. Give the stupid abductors something to abduct other than me. Oh, Jesus! They spawned on me. Turn around, they're just like, oh, hey, buddy. You just killed our friends. We're here to blow you up. So instead of finding a way through the wall just yet... Oh, I broke a window. I guess one of those tourists was too close. I'm going to head over to this anchor point. Pick up that anchor energy. And then also head to that point of interest that I hadn't scanned. So, Spark Tower, Honeypot Abductor. Okay, so there's no wriggling wrecks. There's no, there's not really, like, souped up electricity here. So I don't have to worry too much about the roads. Which is nice. Some of the anomalies are just make travel very difficult. Actually, a lot of the anomalies. It's kind of the point of the anomalies to make travel difficult, but some more than others. Alright, so the next stop is somewhere over here to try to find a way through. I'm not going to bother repairing that door right now. Well, let's also, I didn't forget about the POI. Oh, we're not going that way. I started to turn, the game's like, nope. Your progress has plateaued. The crowbar is the stick shift, not the handbrake, but I do have a handbrake. It's just not a physical object that you can see. So an armored panel, armored door. Nope. Gravity is a thing. So, like, I was trying to catch the thermal crystal before it, or the thermostat before it flew down the hill. Because I don't have super highlighting on. Again, just to demonstrate what the super highlighting would be, that's high visibility loot. And as you can see, much easier to find things that fell down the hill than without high visibility loot. Oh, I didn't turn it off. Now it's... I mean, they're glints, but at nighttime, you're not going to find that. Not easily, at least. Do I bother harvesting it from tourists? Not usually, no. Not unless it's like a high density of tourists. And even then, not so much. Because once you hit the tourists, it goes flying everywhere. Although I'm gonna hit these tourists, but only because they're like blocking the road. Out of the road, hippies. Right, it's like, I could chase down these crystals, but the amount of time it takes for the amount of crystals I get, just, the economy doesn't check out. Oh, another peculiar panel. So this... I'm not really sure if it has any extra endurances compared to, like, regular steel. It's cool color, though. Oh, no, it is, explosive resistant, 30%. I don't need it, though. Things aren't really blowing up around me. Enough to warrant picking that up. But it doesn't grind down for parts, so... Not a big deal. So before I went to try to find a way into the wall, I wanted to pop over here to this POI that I haven't been to before. which is a charge stop. Powers up your car. Not as good as a full service, obviously. But free battery power. Which is good, because we had the sapping zone on our way over, which hurt our battery power. Alright, now let's find a way to move on. I'm also going to start a new community challenge. Paint and decal. If y'all want me to paint and decal again. I'm happy to keep detailing the car. So, hardcore addict, the reason why I didn't pick it up is peculiar parts are not repairable. So they're single use. And if they break while you're on a run, you are then without a panel, right? Or whatever part it was. Because they're not repairable. So I don't usually run with them unless they're like amazing. Because of their fragility. Sometimes they have super high durability, yeah, sometimes. But if that was an armor panel and not a steel panel, I might have considered it. It's just a personal choice. I like a dependable car that is repairable. And those parts are not repairable. It's creepy in here. What you think, Yoda? We Mad Max in this? Out of the way! We went roadblock here. You believe these guys? Just because you have the right of way doesn't mean you can block me. The real danger is, like, as soon as you're not looking at the tourists, they can change position. So sometimes when you throw it in reverse, even if it's terrain that you've just passed over, a tourist will, like, gotcha! And, like, make you blow them up. Oh, it's a conga line. Shake Senora. So we have to find a way through this wall. So I'm looking for a gap somewhere to the left. Little engine who could. Looks like a dead end's here. I know it's a little hard to see. Oh no, it doesn't dead end. In the dark. Oh yeah, definitely dead ends. That blue marker, by the way, the one that I have marked down, is arbitrary. It's not my destination. In fact, let me get rid of it, because it's misleading. can use the headlights to peek. There are side floodlights and other methods of illumination, but I don't have them unlocked or installed, or both. Oh, now they're on one big clumpy party. Let me in. Oh, okay. Alright, fine. Y'all wanted to die? Here you go. I draw the line at fully blocking me. You fully block me, yeah, okay. I'll blow you up. It's not a bad place to farm crystals, it's just not my priority. My priority is to find a way through the wall. Oh no, I popped a tire. Sealing kits at least are pretty cheap to make on the run. As you can see, it's just duct tape, rubber, and glass. So I just made 2 extra. The rough terrain of the outside world doesn't pop my tires, but the very nicely polished concrete in this tunnel, and my tires go poof. Also, it seems like some panels took blast damage or something. They're definitely messed up. Yeah, Taurus messed the left side of the car up a bit. I thought I was free and clear of it, but I clearly wasn't. Thank you for tuning in to Pacific Drive, which streamed as a marathon one time only March 16th and March 17th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that both no feedback can be incorporated because this was streamed as a marathon one time only, and also I ask for no spoilers so people reading the comments don't have the game spoiled for them. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com or the description of this video have a link to it. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, viewers that turned out for this marathon, and viewers like you as well that made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow breachers,